Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, as you will probably be aware, I've planned to get a new radio and I was deciding between two radios, both by Yaesu. I've already got a couple of Yaesu radios. I've got the FTM 400, which I purchased from Martin Lynch & Sons in about 2016. It's not let me down once. And the Yaesu FT2D handheld, which complements that nicely, also purchased from Martin Lynch & Sons. So, where do I get my third Yaesu from? Martin Lynch & Sons, of course. Because I've always had good dealings with them. I got my network radio from them as well at the National Hamfest. So, I've always had good dealings with Yaesu. Now, you can see I've got a little safety knife here. This is one that I used at the fulfillment centre I worked at for 7 months. So, I've got quite a few of these lying around. So, I've got a big box down here. I'm going to bring it up, if I can get it, without knocking the microphone off. That would be good. Ooh, it's a very heavy box. Now we're going to find out what's in there. And this is a big box, so this might give a clue as to which radio I ultimately chose. So let's see if we can get into this, shall we? If it takes too long, I'll pause the video, but it's not going to take too long, apparently. I've just managed to slice that, no problem at all. That's what you get for working at a fulfillment centre opening box for 7 months. Skill of opening boxes. So I'll just turn this round so I can do the other side. I'm just trying not to break my other two Yaesus because that would be unfortunate. Oh, there we go, I've got into the box. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit there that's probably going to get blurred out when I edit it, so... Yeah, that's the address label. I didn't tear that off the box because I've not had time to do that, so... Oh, this is not going where I want it. So, cardboard. That should already hint, if you can see this, what I've bought. A Yaesu FT991. Hey! Now if I can get it out of here, that will be good. Don't want to drop it because I've only just bought it. Let's see if I can get this out. If this takes too long, then I'll pause the video again. But that shouldn't take too long. Here we go. Oh, my first ever HF rig, and it is a Yaesu FT991A. Now I'll get this cardboard box out of the way so you can actually see me again. There we go. That's gone. Ooh. Here we go. So, this is probably going to be a little bit of an unboxing. I don't normally do unboxings, but, you know, I think this is worth it. So, let's open the box. Ooh, it even has unpacking procedures in it. I like that. So, I'll keep this box because I might need it, obviously. So, let's try not to break my two existing Yaesu. So, what do we get in here? An operating manual, a map and a sticker, and a warranty card, which... might need to fill the warranty card in and send it off. That would be a good idea because it is quite an expensive radio. Big heavy chunky lead with quite a lot of the end bared, I've noticed. So where I put ring terminals or something onto that remains to be seen. I do have something else to unbox as well. The microphone, which is a MH31A8J dynamic microphone. I'm not sure if it's similar to the one supplied with the FTM 400, just obviously without the DTMF, because it's just a standard mic that comes with this. I think that's everything out of this part. So I'll remove that piece of cardboard. And now for the big event. See if I can get this out without dropping it. So I'll take this styrofoam off first. That reveals the front. I think I've completely ignored the unpacking instructions, but to be honest, had to be done. Let's get rid of the box. Squeaky chair. And let's gently remove this from the plastic bag. Now I've got to find out how that's in there. Aha. It is sealed in with a piece of tape. No surprises there. But it's the cheapest and best way to do it. Oh. So I'll just grab it gently by the handle on the side of the radio before grabbing the rest of it. And there we go. There is the radio. Looks nice, I think. Yep, 2 members of the local club, as far as I'm aware, have one of these as well. I think it's Mac, M0RIE, and Dave, G8YPN. I think they both have the 991A. I'm not sure if anyone else has this, but it looks good. I like it so far. Now I've got to take all of the plastic protection things off the front. So obviously I wouldn't be able to operate it properly with any of that on. And then hopefully this can go in place. Now I don't have an HF antenna here at the home QTH, or at least not one that I can connect up to it. I do have a in-progress Slinky antenna, although I've not got any ladder line or a tuner. This does have a built-in tuner, but I don't think it would tune that without a balance, so I'll see what I can do for an HF antenna. So on the back, in their wisdom, Yaesu have put an N-type connector on the VHF UHF side, which would be the better connector to use. They didn't do that on the FTM 400. I never quite figured out why. So I do have an N to PL, well, it's an SO239, N to SO239 adapter, so I'd have to put that on there. So it's got the connections in the back for connecting it to a computer, connecting it to auto tuners, that sort of thing, ground posts, and the HF antenna and power connector. So, and a little fan in the back. So there is a fan in the place where I want to put this in the radio room, although I'm still debating on whether to wire that fan up at time of filming this. So I do have another box to unbox, so I'm just going to move this out of the way so I don't break it, because I had to buy a new power supply. Because the power supply I have, which is a Maplin one, can only deliver 7 amps, and this thing draws a lot more than that. Well, it's actually rated 7 amp 50% duty cycle, which is certainly not enough to run that at full power, and I wouldn't try running it off that anyway. So it's the power supply with more stuff to cover up and blur, I think. So let's see if I can get into there. Oh, that's not working, is it? I see why. These things get full of tape. So there's a way of cutting these horrible things. Usually these go through these little safety cutters. I don't know where you actually get these from. I managed this before at the fulfillment centre, but I'm not sure whether I use fresh ones or not. We'll get there in the end. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know why they put these on these. There we go. I was going to say there, if it takes too long, I'll pause the video. But I don't need to pause the video because I managed to cut the first one. Let's cut the next one. Well, that one didn't take as long. You know, I think I should be expert at this, having worked at a fulfillment centre. So let's start in here. Right. So this is quite a heavy power supply because it's of the old-fashioned type with the transformer in it. So it comes with a manual, which is really just a manual, and power cord, proper British plug on it, which is good. And then I'll have to turn the box on its side to actually get the power supply out, because if I don't do that, it isn't coming out. Yep, I think we're just about there. So this has turned into a bit of an unboxing video, as well as a reveal of what radio I bought. Ooh, this is heavy. I like the feel of that. I don't like these switch mode power supplies that they use these days because they're just, I don't think they're up to the job for running radios, although I do actually use an ATX power supply to run my iGate at the moment because I don't really have anything spare. And I've put the Maplin power supply into the bedroom, ready for my dearest coming back, because my dearest liked the CB being in there for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so my spouse will be happy that I've got a proper power supply on that, not a computer one. So, yes, this is one of the Midell power supplies. There was an offer on these with every new transceiver. You could get one for free, apparently. So, I got this, and I believe it was free of charge. So, this one is rated variable adjustable voltage from 1.5 to 15 volts DC at 30 amps, apparently. So I'd have to make sure it's locked off on 13.8 so I don't blow that up. Which you probably can't see at the moment, actually. I don't know where that is in relation to the camera. Actually, I'm looking up at the camera now, so I'm streaming it onto the TV screen, and yeah, the 991 isn't actually in shot at the moment, but it is there. So, the cable's fixed into the back of this, and there's a fan in the back as well, so that's actually pretty good. And it is a proper linear power supply. As I say, it's not switched mode. I don't like switch mode power supplies at all. These linear ones are, with a proper transformer and regulation circuitry, a much better choice, especially for radio equipment. Although switch modes are lighter, which is the positive thing about those. Let's get plastic out. So what we got here then? So we've got this really beefy power supply. So got various connectors on the front. So it's even got a combined volt and ammeter. That's actually quite good, because I was using a separate voltmeter for the Maplin one, which I've got somewhere, and this is trying to pull this away. I don't want that pulling away. So I'll just drop that down there so you can see the front of this. You can get it to the camera, there we go. So yeah, it's got the voltage adjustment knob, a switch to switch that meter between volts and amps, the power switch, a fuse holder, speaker type terminals, the usual big binding post type terminals, and a cigarette lighter socket, which is actually pretty good because it means all the connectors I need are on this thing. So what I can also plug into this is the President Grant 2. So that can run off this as well when I'm running CB, because I certainly will not be using a 991A on 27 megahertz. That's not something I would do. I mean, people do that, and that's up to them, but obviously I won't, because I don't like to use more power than necessary. And, you know, I don't like to use equipment that's not type approved. That's just the way I am. So, what's that? I'm wondering if that power switch has a neon indicator in it, but we'll soon find out, because we're going to be going into the radio room shortly and plugging things in. So, I can't put the map supplied with the radio up on the wall, which is a shame. But, you know, it comes with a sticker. I've already got one of them stickers somewhere that came with the FTM 400. Now, one of the plus things about this is it actually has System Fusion on it. And because I use System Fusion as my preferred digital voice mode, this might be pretty good. Now, I don't know the nearest repeater that actually has that on it at the moment. I know HG uses a Fusion-capable repeater, but I don't think that's enabled. Last I checked, it wasn't. GB3CD would be the other one, which I can hear from here, and I can probably get into it, but I couldn't hear it properly on the 8900D because of pager noise. So I think that's had Fusion disabled. I think they've put it on a separate repeater now. I don't know. I'll have to look into that as well, because I don't usually keep up to date on what modes are running on what repeaters. GB3IR in Richmond's just a standard FM repeater. At the moment, I think that's using a Nokia BSR 150 off the top of my head. So it's just an analog repeater. It's not got any fancy digital modes on it, and that's perfectly fine for what we do around here. And I haven't actually been on the repeater in a while, so hopefully if I can get the flower pot antenna up tonight, I should be able to go on the repeater using this 991A and just tell whoever's out there, members of the club usually around about 7:30, that I have bought myself a new radio with a tax refund that I was not expecting. So, you know, why not buy something like this? Let's bring it back in. Here we go. Yeah, so next time you should see this is hopefully in its position in the shack, wired up and ready to go. It'll be on a dummy load. It won't actually be on an aerial just yet. I'll sort that out later on in the day because I think I've got a couple of other things I need to do. So I'm going to get these moved into the other room now. So I will catch you then. Okay, so here's the radio. I've got it powered up and plugged in, and it didn't go bang or anything. And the multimeter was there just to make sure I was getting 13.8 volts out of that power supply, which is good. So it's on 40 meters right now. As I said, does all the bands I want it to do, or near enough all the bands I want it to do. So everything from top band all the way down to 10 meters in the HF. Does 6 meters, 2 meters and 70 centimeters. It doesn't do 4 meters, but that's something I can live without for now. Well, looks alright, feels the part, feels well built. People do speak quite highly of these. What do you expect from a Yaesu product? And I'm pleased with my purchase. So no HF antenna here at the moment, but that's something I'll probably work on. VHF and UHF, I've got a flower pot antenna I can use for that, or a ground plane antenna specifically for 2 meters, although I think that might need some repair work doing on it. So as you see, I have had a bit of a play around. So that's the 2 meter band. So I'm going to find out what else this radio can do and have some fun with it. If you want more information on this radio, you'll find other videos on the subject on YouTube as well. There's nothing I can really cover that other people haven't, so I'll just be repeating what other people have said. So all the information more in depth on this radio is actually out there on YouTube. So yeah, fun toy for me, and obviously came with this nice, decent, heavy rated power supply, which I put into the order, and there was a deal on where I've got the power supply for absolutely nothing, and I can see how much current the radio is drawing in transmit just by flicking the switch from volts to amps on the meter. You can't see that at the moment, it's slightly off camera, and I'd have to move the camera, and that's been proving a bit troublesome. So you can see the screen might be flickering a bit, but that's because of the way the camera shutter's working, which is a bit annoying, but there's nothing I can do about that. So looks easy to use, I think it is. I'm going to have a play with it. So thanks for watching, and this is my new radio, my newest addition to the shack, the Yaesu FT991A all mode VHF UHF HF transceiver. So hope to work some of you on this thing on, well, all the bands it can do. So 7.3 for now.